Hello, everyone. Hello. Morning, and thank you very much for joining me. I've been looking at all of your little words that you've been saying to each other, which is really nice. So it's so lovely. I'm so pleased that you're all here because that's good. Um, uh, whilst I just think of it, I know that people would like to know that they can actually participate with the live chat. And I have looked up and seen that it is a definite thing that you can only do it if you're logged into your Google account. Anybody can watch YouTube, doesn't matter what it is or anything. But if you want to actually participate in the live chat, then it has to be that you are logged in to your Google account, apparently. And if you are logged into that, as you look at your screen, you should see your little either a face or whatever it is, a little symbol that you have on the top right hand corner. And then apparently you can chat away as much as you like, but anybody can watch YouTube, which is why I have gone over to the YouTube. And to be fair, although it's probably a bit different now, it was a nightmare with the Facebook Live with the signals. So it seemed to be much better to do it like this. So subsequently, we are off. So I'm going to do today a card. Oh, what are we all talking about? Drinks. Iced coffee. Oh my goodness. See, I haven't got the staff to do that. Oh, that reminds me, I haven't got the staff here today. So I am told that I have a delivery of wonderful goodies that's going to come between 11:15 and 12:15. So if they come whilst I'm still with you here, bear with me because I must go and get it. Christmas stamps, Heather. Yes, I am getting the Christmas stamps in. They came out yesterday, but they won't be with me. They might be with me by the end of this week. What day are we on now? Wednesday. Could be Wednesday, but if not, it will be on Monday. They do look lovely. Some of them in particular look particularly lovely. But I've gone back to not Christmas today because I can't be doing with Christmas today as well. We've gone back to a man's card. I thought we'd do a man's card today. A man's card, but with also a bit of a twist that it could be any card really. So I'm going to use three things. And I have put them over on a very special offer on the Facebook Live product section. I am limited because there are only so many of them. So just to say. So I'm going to be using the Marianne Creatables Sailboat die, the Marianne Creatables Seagulls, and the Woodware collection of kindness sentiments. I just think that this is rather lovely. So I'll be going through all of them in just a second. But the way that we're going to do it is slightly different than normal. First of all, I'm going to make myself an aperture. And I want to use this to do some backgrounds. So I'm going to work with a 5x7 card blank. And I have cut my piece of card to go onto it at, oh goodness, sorry, go away. It's my car insurance is loaded up at the moment, and they then want to phone me to sell me more car insurance. You know what it's like. Okay, so 5x7. So this one is cut down to 4.5 by 6.5. I'm actually not going to mat and layer it, but I do want it to be smaller than my size card. So here's my 5x7, and you can see that it fits in there with quite a big border. It does allow me, if I wished, to put another border on it, but I'm not going to. So I want to make an aperture first, and this time it's going to be a circle one. So I've got a piece of mirror card because that's how I'm going to do my basic stencils. And I'm just going to take an ordinary circular die from my press cut nesting dies, and I'm going to cut myself I'm just going to check that that's in the right position. Hold on, I think I want it a little bit higher. That's better. I'm just going to cut myself an aperture out of my piece of card. So I'm just going to use this. Now, I have done this before, I know, but I do like to use these apertures with the mirror card, because the glue just glides off of it. So I just find it's really a handy way of doing it. Can use that for something a bit later on, and put my die over there. So here is my card with my aperture, and I'm just going to tape that into position. So I'm just going to place it round about there. So it's not in the middle. I don't want it in the middle. It's slightly uppermost of that. Okay, so that's just taped on so that I can not let that move around too much. Now, the inks that I'm using today are the Izink dye inks, and I'm using them in Aurora, I think it's Aurora, Sia and Grenadine. So basically yellow, orange and a red. So that way around. I'm going to put them on with my little sponge daubers this time. So that should be fine. So I'm going to start off down the bottom with my darkest colour, so my red. So I'm just going to pick up some of my ink onto my sponge dauber here, and I'm going to just work that in, and I'm pressing quite hard. I'm not doing it lightly, and I'm starting off at the very bottom. Oh gosh, it's shining, isn't it? Whoops, hold on. You went a bit wonky there. Oh gosh, not very good like that, is it? Never mind. So I'm just going to work my way up to about a fifth of the way up, and I'm going over the same bit so that I'm getting darker at the bottom and lighter at the top. So I'm just going to bring that in like that. Okay, so that's my grenadine. Then I'm going to go in with my orange, or Sia, or however you pronounce it, and I'm going to go over the top of that so that I'm blending that in. Okay, so that's just going for the next sort of third of it. So I'm doing it more or less in thirds. I'm coming back over that bit a bit as well, so it blends it all in. And then going in with my Aurora, or my yellow. Just picking that up and taking that right to the top with this one. So we've obviously got a sunset going on here. And sorry if the camera's shaking or anything. So I'm just blending over. Can use any inks. I just thought I'd use these because I know a lot of people have got them, and I've not been using them quite so much just recently. So I did want to show you that they are brilliant for anything like this as well. So I can then take off, and we have got that to be used at another time, but just make sure that you take the ink off with a piece of cloth first from there. I've got my inner piece here. Got a little bit on there as well. That's a poo, isn't it? I don't want a little bit on there. Right, it's no good. No good. Can't have that. Can't have that. I'll just have to do another one. So, just in case you weren't watching. Let's just, sorry, very quickly pop some on there. I'll probably make it worse this time, in which case then we might end up with another border anyway, but hey ho. These are dye inks that I'm using, not the pigment. Both would work, but these are the dye inks. I have got it on a super smooth piece of card, but particularly relevant because I'm not stamping on it. I just didn't want it to go over the edge. So yeah. So I'm just blending them in. They seem to blend quite well. Yeah, okay. See, you can do it quite quickly if you try. I'm going to take this off. No, it hasn't gone back to the beginning. It's that I've made a mess, and I don't make a mess. Well, I do make a lot of mess. So I am then going to take my stamping platform and I'm going to put my sentiment in place. Okay. So I'm going to just pop that there. And I'm going to choose, so let's look at the sentiments on here. I'm going to choose the one that says, if you dream it, you can do it. And we've also got, I just hugged you in my thoughts. Hope you felt the squeeze. We've got happy birthday and thinking of you and thank you so much. We've also got kindness is the greatest gift you can give. And another one, sometimes the smallest things take up the most room in your heart. And finally, don't let the small things bug you. So I think they're really quite a nice sentiment there. Okay. So I'm just going to pop this into position down the bottom. And it's going to go about there, right down the bottom. Okay. I'm just going to pick that up and I'm going to do that in a black VersaFine. Just stamp that right down the bottom. Ooh, get it back into position. There we are. Okay, if you can dream it, you can do it. So let's just pop this back on. Take that off in a second. So there's the basis of my card already done. And he is going to sit onto there. So with no matching and laying. I mean, you can use the matching and laying, but I just wanted to go for something very, very simple here today. So then I'm going to take my dies that I'm using. So first of all, we've got the sailboat. Now, this is one of Marianne's creatables. They do 3 different things: craftables, designables, and creatables. So this is a creatable. So the die itself will cut out very easily. And I'm just going to pop that on there to show you that we need to tape it into position because there's something we need to do on this one. So we tape that into position. We pop that through our die cutting machine, and I have cut these out for you beforehand because I thought you might not be very interested to see it otherwise. So cutting it out the first time, now let me show you closely to the camera. You can see, I think, the detail on it. Yeah, so you've got the sailboat here with the little lines on, and it's clearly cut out. I haven't poked them out, but it's cut out the pieces of the boat without any trouble whatsoever. However, if you then use your rubber embossing mat like this and put that in your machine so that, now bear in mind I'm using a Gemini, I know, but I've got different plates that I use for it. So that's my base plate. I then put my piece of rubber mat on the top. I would then put my die, keeping it on the plastic, on the having cut it out, keep it in position. That's why you've got to have the tape. Keep it in there and then pop that down so that the cutting edge of it is cutting into the rubber. However, it doesn't cut, so don't get panicky. But it does, that's the way that it goes, as if it's going to cut into the rubber. And then in this case, it needs the grey embossing plate to go on top of it. So that's how it works for my machine, and it's a Gemini, and it probably doesn't necessarily work like that for everybody's, but that's how I use it. But if you want to emboss something, the die that you are using should be cutting edge, as if it's cutting the rubber, but it doesn't cut the rubber. So you're okay, do not panic. And then we go from, so that was how it looked when I just cut it out ordinarily. And then here's one I made earlier. I think that you can see the difference on that. Let me just show you on my white card. Yeah. So even though, you know, I know that I'm trying to get it so that the light shows, but the difference in it when you've actually embossed it, you can even see the little details of the boat itself, whereas actually on the other one they are completely missing. So it is worth your while popping that onto an embossing mat and doing it like that. Okay, so that's that little one. And then from my seagulls, now if anyone knows me, which some of you do, seagulls are my most unfavourite bird ever in the whole wide world. They have been waking us up every morning at 2:30, which is lovely of them. We love them. Nevertheless, they look really good here. So just show you this on the light side as well. Now I haven't had to emboss this because the detail is already cut out on it. So I'm not sure if you can see the detail. Yeah, that there's the bird, and even the little sort of marks in his eye. Not quite sure if you can see that, but anyway, so we've cut out the bird as well. So there are 3 in that particular set. So coming back to my card, I'm going to pop some foam onto the back of this because I'm putting that straight on. So I'm just putting some pieces of foam. Just want to set it up a little bit. There you go. So yeah, any of the things that you've seen today, I have got a very limited amount because they are not a new die from Marianne. They are an older one, and so there are very limited amounts that are available, I'm afraid. But the stamp set and everything, there are some of those as well. So my boat is going to go here. He's going to sail off into the sunset. And I'm going to pop a little bit of glue in case he sails too quickly. Oh. Don't want him to sail away too fast, do I? So he is going to go just down there. Okay. Oops. I have put an awful lot of ink onto my background there, and so it does get it quite wet. So just be a little bit careful if you're going to do that. That's probably why I smudged it easily, but there you go. Should have dried it off a bit, really. So a little bit of glue onto the back of my seagull, and he's going to come just into there. Okay, I've got a little bit there on my mucky pup. So you quite enjoy hearing them during the day? Yeah. Well, I quite like hearing them during the day. I don't like hearing them at 2:30. Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah. No, they are a nightmare. They really are a nightmare. Here, I mean, we live right by the coast. We are within yards of the sea, and they are seabirds. But unfortunately, they come into the areas where everyone lives because people feed them. And yeah, they poo down the front of my house as well and on all my cars. But it's the noise. It's the noise. Anyway, so cards. Now, This one, as I say, could be for any occasion. It could be as a, if you can dream it, you can do it. It could be for an occasion of encouraging someone to do something. If you changed it and had just a happy birthday down there, it would be, let's have a look. If we pretend, we can pretend, can't we, that we've got the happy birthday one down here. So if I put my boat that I haven't embossed, we could put happy birthday or happy birthday up there, and then it's a mail card. They really are quite handy for the men, I think, anyway, and some lovely sentiments there for all sorts of things. So, as I say, they're all over on the Facebook Live section of MaximumCrafts.com if you would like to partake in any of them. Yeah, no folds, Karen, but then it's Fancy Fold Friday on Friday, not today. I just wanted to make a very simple card. I didn't want to frighten any of you. I noticed, actually, and that would be handy if I could have a little bit of feedback from you on that, that a couple of people have been saying that as things are sort of opening up a little bit more, that they're not going to be doing any Facebook Lives or this type of thing anymore. I thought that was a little bit sad, because one of the people that I heard them say that, said that they're not going to do it anymore because there isn't anything new to do and there's only so many things you can show. And I thought that was a bit sad. I like to see more things going on. So as long as people are joining me, then I'm happy. Yeah, I think so too. I think it's nice to continue. I think we all learn a little bit, don't you? Yeah, yeah. I just thought that was a funny thing to say. It was one of the biggest craft people around, actually, and they just said that they're not going to anymore because we can't learn anymore. So I thought, we can always learn, can't we? Yeah. So I thought we weren't paying attention to that. So subsequently, we will be back on Friday with the Fancy Fold Friday. I won't make it too difficult. And then we are on Sunday again with the Sunday special, which is rather yummy as well. There are so many yummy things coming up. I'm working on some extra yummy things for you for the end of the month. And I have opened the registration now for my Crafty workshop, online workshop. That is on the 6th of July, and it's the Christmas set using the Deco snowflake background and bits and pieces. So I am limited, and the people that normally come to there have they have all got their places. So, don't go worrying about that, but they are there if anyone else would like to join us. I'm going to go and get a coffee. A shorter version than normal today. And yeah. Oh, and I meant to say that some of you, I understand, which is a bit worrying, are watching me on the telly. Oh my God. Telly in terms of the fact that some of the TVs can get YouTube on the telly. The thought of me being on a 52-inch screen on someone's thing is a little bit alarming, but there you are. Yeah, my staff, you see, they've gone out again. So no, I've got to go and make my own cup of tea. Well, cup of coffee I'm going to have. So yeah, and my delivery didn't come yet, did it? So my delivery of wonderful goodies that is on its way and will very quickly be on the way to you, if you're waiting for anything. Excuse me. Will be there. So if you have anything that you would like to see, do come and have a look. What we're talking about, Anne? Oh my lordy. 55-inch screen. That's nearly as big as my stomach. Oh goodness. Yeah, the craft online workshops. They are held once a month. They are done via Zoom, which many more of you would have been aware of now than they have been before, because in this lockdown, a lot of people have gone onto Zoom for just family. So it's something like this. We can all see each other, but we can also talk to each other properly rather than type. So it's a really good way of learning things, and you get all your products that you are going to use on the day all sent to you in a lovely bag of goodness. Can I get more seagulls? Have they sold out then, Rio? I doubt it, but I will have a look. I will just double check in case that didn't. Yeah, I didn't realise I'd sold out. Okay. There were very, very few, so I will have a look and see if there's any more, because I know that I might do. And yeah, I'm only getting that type of seagull for you, as in the feathered variety. Well, you can have them actually. If I could make them fly over to you, you'd be more than happy to have those. But no, and there's some babies coming along any day, so you'll be able to have them too. So yeah. Okay, so off to get coffee. Hope you've enjoyed our little session today, and hope you're able to join me again on Friday morning, and that one is at 10 o'clock, don't forget. So 10 o'clock on Friday for the Fancy Fold Friday. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Take care. Bye.